Hello, and welcome to the Hive Mind podcast, where the collective wisdom of the travel industry helps you match travelers with the right destinations and the right hotels. I'm your host, Whitney Schindler, founder and CEO of The Hive, a platform designed to give travel advisors organized, actionable insights they can put to work right away. Each week, I sit down for focused, real-world conversations with travel advisors, hoteliers, and supplier partners who know these places inside and out. We break down how each hotel is best suited to a specific client profile, take quick deep dives into destinations, and share pro tips to help you make the most of the Hive. And here's the best part. You don't need to take notes while you listen. Go about your day, tune in, and know that every insight from these conversations is already captured and organized inside the Hive, so it's there when you actually need it. And if you aren't in the Hive yet, you can get resources from this and other episodes when you join our newsletter at thehive.travel/podcast. Today, we have a new episode of The Essentials, a deep dive all about helping you not just understand a destination, but feel it, the energy, the vibe, and the nuance that make it unique. Trusted destination partners share key details that matter most and help paint an overall picture that will inspire you as you present the destination to clients. When you bring a destination to life with confidence and clarity, you build trust, you spark excitement, and you make it that much easier for your clients to say yes. Joining us today to talk about Lecce, Salento, Matera, and Bari in Puglia is Elisa De Pascalis, the sales manager at Seven Visions. This is part 2 of a very in-depth Puglia conversation Elisa and I had, so if you haven't already, please go back to listen to part 1, where we cover the Itria Valley and the seaside towns in Puglia, the heart of anyone's first-time visit to the region. Let's dive in. Okay, so you're from Lecce?
Yes, I am.
Okay, this is amazing.
I
So,
am.
does Lecce, do you find that if clients are always kind of arriving to Itria Valley, like, do you feel that Lecce and Salento is always included in Puglia? Is it sometimes included? Like, where does it fall in terms of the frequency and the number of travelers having 2 full stops in Puglia before they either go home or continue on with their trip?
I would say that Lecce is most of the time included in a Puglia trip. However, also most of the time is included only as a day trip because clients, what clients mostly know are the top 5-star properties in Savelletri. And so the first thought is to stay at one of those outstanding property. And then the second thought would be, okay, what can I do from there? So
Sure.
that's something that this narration, we are trying to slightly change this narration because whatever, like the hotels have made Puglia a destination, and the locations, the cities, the sightseeings came next. However, there's beautiful sightseeing, like there's beautiful sites that have to be considered too when one thing Puglia beside the hotel. That is also like a very important part of the trip.
So what I'm hearing is that many people currently do it as a day trip, but it feels like it's a shame that having
It's a
more
shame.
time would be really
Yes.
beneficial.
Yes, there's so much more. There's so much more to do. And I would like to say that Salento is it's just the name of the area that goes basically from Lecce, like from Brindisi actually, to the very tip of the hill. And so the choice to explore Salento is for those who want to feel even more southern. Because whereas Central Puglia gives you the iconic image of the region, Salento really gives you another layer. It's more Mediterranean, more coastal, in some ways even more local. I like to say that it's still quite wilder and in a certain way genuine. Lecce is the gateway of the area of Salento area, and there's beautiful properties in the cities, and so it's going back to the first question, it's usually done as a day trip, but also clients would split their stay between central Puglia and the hotel in Lecce. But just because they know there's beautiful hotels in Lecce, and then they kind of say, okay, what's there more to do?
Tell me.
However, the number of nights in Lecce compared to the Itria Valley are less.
Okay.
So generally, it's like I would say 60-70% of a trip overnight is in central Puglia. The 30% is in Lecce.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so Lecce is really like I would say it's doing really, really well. But then there's actually 100 towns in the area of Salento. So there's a lot of little villages, little towns that has not been yet conquered, and so you can really still feel the genuinity of the people, the slow life, slow rhythm when you drive through those little villages. The light is beautiful, especially at sunset. You have the taste of South Italy, with the locals sitting outside of their houses and just chatting at night because it's too warm inside, or local trattorias where you can still have great meals at very, very low budget. It's a very low key area. That's how we can describe it. Compared to the central Puglia, there it's more trendy.
It's busier, yeah. One of the best parts of this industry is that we don't have to figure it all out alone. The Hive is built on that idea. It's our expertise vault, a living library where hotel details, destination insights, and advisor experiences are captured and shared. As an emerging advisor, that means you get access to the wisdom of people who've been there before, helping you build confidence and credibility faster. And as you grow, you'll add to your own insights too, strengthening the community for the next advisor. Curious? Take a peek at thehive.travel. So let's imagine clients agree they're going to give us 2 or 3 nights in Lecce. What are some of the key highlight experiences that we can share with them?
For sure, visit of Lecce. Lecce also has a Jewish quarter, so that's a relevant part of the history to be shared. Then Otranto, as mentioned, Otranto is the easternmost point of Italy. It's a beautiful town on the coast, very lively in summer. And the beach around Otranto are fantastic. Also on the other side, Otranto sits on the Adriatic coast. On the opposite side, so our west coast, the Ionian Sea, sits Gallipoli. Gallipoli has been renowned for mostly for Europeans, for the party, as the party soul. Actually, like for the past 15 years, it's been like the narrative has changed around that region, around that city. And Gallipoli was actually really, really, it's been a great business hub in 1800, because there was a major production of lamp oil. So there's a lot of underground mills where olive oil was produced, but not for food, but for lighting, like for other purposes. So every day, a lot of ships were departing from Gallipoli to the major European cities to distribute lamp oil. So we actually say that London, Paris, Stockholm, all those towns were lit up with the Apulian lamp oil back in the days. So it was actually that there's a huge history around Gallipoli. Also, there's little hidden gems like Galatina. Galatina is 15 minutes, 20 minutes drive south from Lecce. It's it's down.
Oh, here.
You got Galatina. Yeah, here. there's a beautiful church called Basilica Santa Caterina. Besides the religious purpose, it actually is a masterpiece of for the art and architecture. The frescoes inside are incredible. To me, that's one of the, after the Vatican, is really, really like emotional to be inside that church. And actually Galatina is also the native place of pasticciotto. Pasticciotto is our typical dessert from Lecce. It's a custard. It's a pastry filled with custard cream, which we usually have for breakfast. I mean, once in a while, not every day, of course. So yeah, there's really nice places to try the pasticciotto in Galatina, and also like places that are more off the beaten. I like to mention Nardò. Nardò, it's 10, 15. It's to the left of Galatina. And
Here.
it has the most amazing baroque architecture of the area. Like, to me, walking through the city center, the old town of Nardò is even more remarkable than what it is in Lecce. There's beautiful rock facades and palaces. So it's a lot of little gems that can be discovered if you are going on a deeper under the skin.
Yeah, so it definitely sounds like it's worthwhile. If clients are really looking for something that's a little bit different, away from all of the crowds, exploring some of these small villages, it definitely does seem worthwhile to have a couple nights. And also, I can see how clients might say, might not do it if they're trying to pack in more regions in Italy outside Puglia.
Of course.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
makes total sense. Are there, what if we missed in terms of like for the biking and the more like soft adventure, biking, hiking, anything like this? Is this popular and available all over the Pulian region, or is it are there specific areas that it's only taking place?
All over the region. Imagine that we have different paths actually coming through the region. So the Via Francigena, or different other paths that actually goes through the region. And there's actually one that was recently born just in Salento. So you can do a coastal walk. Lecce down south to Leuca at the very tip of the hill. The biking experience from Otranto to Leuca is one of the most beautiful bikes ever in the entire country, I would say, because you are literally riding along the coast, these dramatic cliffs. So it's one
Cool.
very worth one.
So it seems like all the more reason to include a couple nights in Lecce, simply because you have all these villages that you can explore, but then some really beautiful bike rides. You said the most beautiful boat day is from there. So
Yeah, and
I think you're convincing me. I hope we're convincing everyone who's listening.
yeah, no, of course. I mean, there's always been kind of, feeling that you're from Lecce and it's not Puglia, but that's something that I don't like to, I don't agree with, because we are all proud to be a Puglian, and Puglia really, really made it to the world stage because there's a huge synergy between each and every, everyone in the travel industry. So we don't like to do this kind of differentiation. And so, but still, I want to say that Lecce is kind of not Lecce itself, but the area is kind of left over from the Puglia image that everyone has. So that's it's really to be discovered, and I can confidently say that you will not be let down. Also, for beach lovers, the waters down south in Salento are among the most beautiful beach of the entire country. I would say very similar to Sardinia. So we have, especially on the west coast, crystal clear waters, sandy beach, golden sandy beach. So that for that experience for beach lovers, is that area is just the best. Whereas the Adriatic coast in Otranto is rather cliffs, with beautiful cliff spots, very dramatic. So from a beauty from a scenery standpoint,
Hmm.
it's remarkable. And something I'd like to add that I think we forgot to mention at the beginning, is the airport, because Bari is the major airport, but
Yes.
there's a secondary airport that is Brindisi,
Oh,
that is a 30 minutes drive from Lecce. So the
okay.
central part of Puglia actually right in between the two airports, Bari or Brindisi. Brindisi also offers connection to Milan, like to the Italian Rome, Milan, but also to London or
Okay.
Zurich. So there's other connections available on Brindisi. And so basically, it can also be chosen for like when one comes to Puglia, can also choose to fly over Brindisi. Of course, there's less connection than Bari. So for clients whose first or last destination is Lecce, then it works very well because it's literally
Hmm.
30 minutes drive
Well,
from
I
Lecce.
was gonna ask about the accommodation and hotel options in the Lecce area because I imagine um they're not on the same level of the Magnificent Mile, but they're still wonderful and beautiful. So I did have
Yes,
a
they
thought of in terms of pacing and in terms of like ramping up the experience that if it works logistically to maybe have clients actually start in the Lecce area and then ramp up their experience to to end at the nicest hotel if that feels important. But I don't know if logistically that really works or makes sense.
Lecce has also great hotels. Also in terms of service, level of service is top level. And um, I was I was telling you before that we usually balance the stay with a countryside hotel
Mhm.
and a city stay in Lecce and so that's the kind of balance we would give to the trip. So experience a beautiful palazzo right in the city of Lecce is the same experience that you will get at one of those countryside hotels. And yeah, yeah, there's beautiful like palazzos, buildings dated back to 17th, 18th century. Um, where you can like clients can have wonderful experience. One of them also has a pool that is very unique in to have such a place right in the heart of the city. So that's usually where the selection lies
Okay.
for Lecce. There's other properties in the area, like in Salento area, still worth like same value, I would say, value of the properties in Savelletri. However, it has more the style like boutique like feeling. So if you are staying out of Lecce but down southern, you have to envision a more boutique approach,
Sure.
smaller properties, um, but at the same time maybe like more of a family feeling.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. So, what have we missed anything in Lecce and Salento before we move on to Matera?
No, I think we are good to go.
Okay. I mean, you convinced me to stay for a few nights, so I think we've done pretty well.
Happy.
Does the food differ around Puglia at all, or is it pretty much like staying in the Etruria Valley, going down to Lecce? Is the food going to be fairly similar?
It's I would say it's similar on a general note. That could be, I would say, in south of Italy, somehow dishes, are like the parmigiana
Mm.
or some fish dishes somehow are similar. However, there's some specialties local to each and every city. For example, in Lecce, one of the main dish is pasta dish is We call it ciceri and tria, that it's pasta with chickpeas and some fried, and some of the pasta is fried, and it's a traditional dish for Saint Joseph, March 19. That is also our Father's Day. So that's, I mean, nowadays you can find it throughout the year, but that's
Sure.
specific to Lecce. Um, so there is some special dishes that you might not find in other areas. But also, I mean, Puglia is one destination really suitable for vegetarians because our cuisine basically is what we call cucina povera, for like poor cuisine, because it used to be like in the past the population like was mostly farm like made up of farmers, and so meat and fish were kind of expensive, and so they
Sure.
were just their diet was based on legumes and vegetables. So we
Hmm.
have a wide range of vegetable based dish,
Okay.
which are truly delicious. So, lot of options.
Okay. Do you want to take a deep breath before we head on to Matera? this is this is very in depth and also super super informative.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Whitney.
So for Matera, does this work logistically? Like if somebody wanted to do, if they gave you, let's just say, 12 full days in Puglia alone, they're not trying to include any other areas in Italy. Um, what would be the order that makes most sense logistically? Do you kind of like arrive into Bari and then make a big circle, kind of do the Itria Valley down to Lecce and come back to Matera, or how do you generally line it up?
Yeah. So that depends on a lot of factors. On a scale of a 8 night trip, I would say we will dedicate one night to Matera, 5 nights to Central Puglia,
Okay.
3 to 4 nights to Lecce. So if the clients are coming in from a overnight, like from a long haul flight, we don't really want them to just arrive, spend the night in Matera and then move on. So
Sure.
we would just start maybe from like a place where they spend a few nights and they have a full day at leisure, like just recovering their jet
Mhm.
lag. And then Matera could actually be the last stop.
Okay.
Even first of all, because it's a kind of a wow moment sleeping in one of those caves. So it's like let's end like cherry on top, a night in the cave. And the Bari airport is 50 minutes drive from
Yes.
Matera, so it's also convenient distance from the airport. So I would say it really depends on the rhythm of the trip. If they're coming from Rome or from like they were already in Europe, then Matera can also be the first
The
stop.
first stop. Yeah.
Or
Okay.
in between, it really depends. It also depends on availability,
Of
of
course.
course. We
That's
always
that's
match all
always
the
the fine print.
a fine line.
Yeah, there's always the fine print of like ideally in a perfect situation, and
Yeah,
then we throw
let's face
everything out
it,
the
really.
window when it comes to
No, but
availability.
But of course, we have a lot of options of stays in Matera, so we try to match the desires of the clients.
So, talk to me about Matera. Is this an area that is always included? If somebody's in the Itria Valley, do some clients try to choose between Matera or Lecce if they don't have a lot of time? Is it rarely included in an itinerary? Like how common is it? How frequent is it? And what help me kind of understand the decision-making process from a client's perspective as to like, do we want to include this? Yes or no? Like, what are some of the things that we should be thinking about? And like, as advisors talking to clients about to help guide them on this decision.
That's a good question, and one I like to answer. First of all, to choose whether Matera is a good fit to include in the itinerary is the mobility.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
mobility restrictions if clients have any, because Matera is outstanding, but it quite challenging when it comes to walking because it's
Okay.
all full of stairs, uneven, And so staying in Matera when there's mobility restrictions, we absolutely discourage it because it will not just be a nice experience.
Okay.
For a visit, it can still be included. However, we would just go for a tuk-tuk tour. So we don't want really clients to be to face difficulties when walking because it's quite it's just not flat. And the walking tour, the visit of Matera involves a lot of steps, uneven cobblestone, so it's just not a nice experience. So mobility restrictions have to be highly considered in the selection in the selection process. It's most of the time included. Is the same conversation that we had for Lecce. If clients choose the hotel first, and that is Central Puglia, then the option is to dedicate a day trip to Matera. It's
Okay.
1.5 hour drive each way from Central Puglia, from those hotels. So it's totally doable as a day trip. Also, another factor that has to be considered in the decision-making process regarding Matera is the heat. So July, August, we tend, especially July, we really tend to avoid to have clients sleeping in Matera. I mean, of course, there's air conditioning in each and every hotel, each and every room. However, the city, like the town, lies in a canyon right inland and tends to be warmer than Puglia.
Okay.
So that has to be considered. And I mean, you don't really want to spend 24 hours in a
Right.
like whole day in the room. So it's rather what we do sometimes is the clients are staying in Central Puglia and we arrange a nice dinner walking towards sunset in Matera. They have a dinner and then they come back. Come back to the hotel after dinner. That's already more pleasant.
Sure.
So that's these are factors to be taken in.
As your business grows, consistency becomes everything. Clients expect the same thoughtful, polished experience every time. But when you're juggling too much, it's easy for things to slip. That's where the Hive comes in. It's your expertise vault, organizing hotel details, destination insights, and advisor perspectives in one place. With the Hive, you can deliver consistently high-quality advice to every client, even as you scale. Want to see how it works? Head to thehive.travel. So in terms of experiences and kind of what you're doing while you're there, it sounds like it's mostly enjoying this really unique scenery, enjoying this really unique stay, like in a cave hotel. And then maybe whether you're doing a walking tour or a tuk-tuk tour, it's really all about just kind of seeing and experiencing this unique place.
Yeah, so Matera itself is, of course, UNESCO city, and so that made it relevant to the world. And actually, the James Bond movie, No Time to Die, was filmed there during COVID time. And that made the city explode. And so sometimes we actually we receive requests to visit Matera because of the movie, to see the movie set places. And so the experience, Matera itself is an experience just to be in the city, to admire the views from the city. And actually, it's very different from morning to night because it's quite busy during daytime, but then at night, it actually feels like a nativity, like Christmas nativity. So a night in Matera is highly recommended, just to be immersed in these jewels. And the cave is for sure a unique experience. And there's different set of hotels, from those offering a more extreme, I would say, experience, like going back to the roots, what it meant to live in a cave. And so choosing not to have electric lights, only candles, or not to have a TV, to like cave hotels with all the modern comforts, or just regular hotels. So also when it comes to where to stay, that depends a lot on the client's preferences. Beside, like, Matera is also very popular for bread making. So there's a huge
Mm.
culture of bread making in Matera and surroundings. And so that's an experience that we can do. Um, there's a beautiful trekking in Matera, starting right from the city center, going on a Tibetan bridge on the other side of the canyon, that that is opposite to the city, where you can have beautiful views at sunset or at sunrise. So the nature component around Matera is truly, truly outstanding. Uh, yeah, then Basilicata region is truly beautiful from a natural standing point. Unfortunately, the focus has always been Matera, and so there's other places are not really are still um, disregarded. However, there's
Sure.
a few options within 30 minutes drive from Matera to be visited. For example, Gravina. Gravina in Puglia, it's a little town. There was also part of the a movie set of James Bond, and there's one of the visit that we can arrange from Matera, or Altamura. That's the hub of bread making. Altamura bread is actually a certified bread brand. And so we can
Interesting.
do a visit there. And I would like to mention the little town of Bernalda, that is in the southern of Matera, 30 minutes drive. Francis Ford Coppola, his grandparents, no, great grandparents were from there. And he paid homage to his ancestors, opening up the Palazzo Margherita, a refined hotel palazzo, that sits in this very off the radar village. So for
Oh, wow.
top-notch clients, or like for like that's my hidden gem of the destination.
Yeah.
Uh, amazing property, and one that really leaves you blown out, because it's a very small village, and it's very unexpected. And as soon as you walk inside the palazzo, you're just in Francis Ford Coppola world. And so it's a great way to be out of the crowd of Matera, but still close enough to go there for the day, for dinner. So
Okay.
that's a great stay, like a amazing stay, excellent stay.
And also maybe an option if clients want to see Matera, but maybe if they're not interested in the cave hotel experience,
Exactly.
because I
Exactly.
have met people who did not love that experience.
Yeah. It's not fun. I can
Yeah.
totally see that. And yeah, for a night, usually it's like, it's okay for a night, but that's it, you know? So if you want to do that area on a slower rhythm, then yeah, Bernal, the Palazzo Margherita works well. It's actually very close to the coast too, like 20 minutes drive. It's a very long, the part of the coast is like sandy beach. So that offers also an option in summer. And the nature, again, in that area is fantastic, because a special, uh, there's a special, how to say that? A special land formation called Kalanki, that make you feel you are on Mars, like you are on the moon. So the scenery is very is very impactful. So there's like a few off the beaten places to be visited.
Okay. I think you've officially convinced me that I need 2 full weeks in this area.
You do.
Every everything that you're Everything that you're sharing is just so interesting, and it sounds like such an amazing and very unique itinerary in Italy. And so, I mean, I always try to encourage clients to slow down and to focus more on, one or two regions. But I think that with everything that you've shared and all the insights and the ideas and the experiences, it just makes it so much easier and gives me a little bit more uh, kind of more exciting things to share to get them excited about staying longer too. So this is actually super helpful.
No, I'm really happy to hear that. And also, I like to say that it's actually our job to educate you in what's available in the region, because it will be easy to say there's a lot of top 5-star properties. You come here and then, that's it. But it's not only about that. And it's our mission to share
Yeah.
what's available.
Yeah, I find that the hotels are exciting, and for travelers who love hotels, they usually know about the hotels and they want to be comfortable. And in theory, most travelers do agree that they want to slow down and they want to spend more time. But to actually make that decision to stay longer in an area and to really plan out the itinerary with fewer overall destinations, the biggest kind of question mark that everybody has is, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to spend our time? And so this is exactly what it comes down to in a conversation with clients, because if I can very quickly say, you could do a day trip to Lecce or you could do a day trip to Matera, but here's what it would look like if you gave me 2 nights here or 3 nights there, then it's an easy yes from their point, because they can envision like, oh, I can see exactly how I would spend 2 or 3 nights. I can already see that I need more than just a day trip. And so it actually makes the decision really easy. Whereas when we don't fully know what's possible in that region or that destination, either because we haven't been yet or because we haven't had such an in-depth conversation like this, then we can make the recommendation, but clients often get distracted and they're like, yeah, slow travel, I know, but also Amalfi. Like they get
No.
distracted. So these conversations are tremendously helpful for us to, I don't want to say convince because we're not convincing anyone, but to encourage and to support
Yeah.
clients' decision, kind of staying longer in one spot.
Yeah, and also to help us, I would say, create um, other routes in the destination
Hmm.
itself. I mean, the less taken one, because the everyone goes to the most visited places,
The
but
most
there is
common places,
more.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about Matera and the surrounding areas before we move on to the final region that we're going to discuss?
Yeah. No, I think I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to wrap up with Bari and the
Yeah.
surrounding areas. Um, do you want to tell us the exciting news about the international connection coming into Bari now?
Yes, very exciting. So from since May 2nd, so it's been a couple of weeks already, United is flying direct 4 times a week from Newark into Bari. These will be until September 15th. So of course, we hope this will be extended, if not this year, from next year, because this for sure the season can be longer.
Much
But
longer,
we're
yeah.
very happy that this is finally happening, and we already have clients traveling on that flight. And it's just so easy because it gets in Bari like at 9 a.m. in the morning, so it's really an easy one. So Bari itself, I would say, is the most international cities nowadays in the south of Italy. Like it's been doing really, really well, and until Bari is really the perfect example of a city that was completely disregarded by the locals as well as by like the whole country. Um, and it made it, like it really made it, because it was also quite dangerous to be in the old town of Bari, and to be there today in this Bari Vecchia, that it's also like very Instagrammable and very like it's one of the postcard that one has of Puglia with the little, like with the nonnas making pasta di orecchiette down in the streets is a success for the entire destination.
Amazing.
It's a beautiful city, very clean, very vibrant. Um, it has a lot of cultural movements going on at the moment. There's a couple of boutique hotels in the city, and so I would say the hotel infrastructure, at least when it comes to a certain level, is still not available in the city. This is why sometimes we are tied not to have clients spending more nights right in the city, depending on the client's, of course, hotel preference. However, it can be a great base for clients, again, who want to go more off the beaten track. From Bari, you can have a city stay. So Bari also offers different culinary experiences, also in terms of not only Italian culinary experiences, street food, a lot of options. Also from Bari, you can actually focus more on the northern part of the region, starting with Trani. Trani is a beautiful town, 30 minutes drive from Bari, that has a beautiful cathedral right on the sea, but also like the biggest synagogue of the south. And so that's actually like one of the sites not to be missed for um, those interested in that. And this, like the culinary experience in Trani is just one of the most amazing one. There's a high level culinary experience that you can have in Trani, and the city is just really, really beautiful and pleasant. From Trani, so you can do Trani on a day. You can also go to Ruvo di Puglia. It's of the rather village, but has a beautiful Romanic, Apulian Romanic church, and an amazing gelato lab that is been also doing really, really well. Also from Bari, you can actually visit Andria and Castel del Monte. That is one of the UNESCO sites of Puglia. It's a castle that is just an octagonal shaped castle right on a hill that was built by Frederick II, one of the major sites, like one of his major monuments building. So that's also relevant. And the countryside area around there also offers beautiful hiking paths. Um, yeah,
There's
and
a
yeah,
lot.
also there's actually a lot. The Again, if Bari only has a couple of boutique hotels, going up north, there's actually no hotel infrastructure at all. And so we tend not to uh, we cannot allow ourselves to have clients staying in that area, especially in the very north part of the region that is Foggia, because that's also part of Puglia and Gargano. Um, but that's also when it comes to nature like landscapes and scenery, that's also really, really beautiful.
Okay.
We just operate in that area, but not because we couldn't, but we don't have contacts, but just because it's not yet ready for the service that we provide.
Yeah, of course. Understood. Um, I'm going to get distracted here for just a second, but I see these little dotted lines going across the sea. Are there ferries connecting Bari and Dubrovnik?
Yes, there are actually something that I should have mentioned at the beginning. There's ferries connecting Bari to Dubrovnik and from Brindisi. There's also connection to Greece. Ferries connecting to Greece, and from Bari also to Albania.
Okay.
So we are basically like neighbors with Albania,
Yes.
Greece, Croatia, and another options for clients to combine Puglia with, if not with the ferry, because it's only the public ferry available, is actually to fly from Bari into Athens or into Dubrovnik or into Split or into
Oh,
the Greek islands. So there's tons of flights from Bari to
really?
several Greek islands, being Santorini, Mykonos, Zakynthos, Kos, Crete. Uh,
Wow.
so
That's
that's
that's really
something to
amazing
be
because a lot
explored.
of people want to combine Greece and Italy because it feels so close, so it
Yeah,
seems natural, but logistics from Rome don't always work. So knowing that logistics from
yeah.
Bari connect you right to
From
the islands,
Bari is
that's
actually
amazing.
really, really great. Yeah, to Athens. Yeah,
Okay. Wow. How long is the ferry from Bari to Dubrovnik? Do you know? I can
it's
also
an
Google that.
overnight ferry.
Okay. Okay.
An overnight ferry. Yeah,
Fascinating. It's
yeah.
amazing.
But
Logistics are
flights are
also like such an important detail because I find that those are the two reasons that plans fall apart. Either you try to get a client to travel slower and to stay longer somewhere, but if you really can't paint the picture of what they should be doing during those extra days, then it just kind of starts to fall apart. And then logistics. A lot of people have grand ideas of what they want to do, but then if we start digging into logistics and we find like, oh, this actually doesn't work very well or this is very cumbersome, then it falls apart. But when we know the logistics that work really well, we can actually come up with some pretty creative
the
ideas.
combination. So
Awesome. Okay, so you were sharing a lot about kind of little day trips from Bari, I suppose. At the very beginning, you mentioned a food tour in Bari.
yes,
Tell me more about
a street
this.
food. Yeah, it's a street food tour where the guide will lead the guests mostly in the old town of Bari that is today brilliant. And there's going to be several food stops at a bakery to try the special focaccia barese. That is the focaccia local, like of Bari. There it's very oily, like with a lot of tomatoes, cooked tomatoes, and very, very soft. So it's just soft, but also crunchy, like
Mhm.
perfectly like golden crust. So it's a true delight. Then there will be a stop to try some fried specialties like sgagliozze, that is fried polenta, or panzerotto, that is our fried dough filled with tomatoes and mozzarella, like basic, the entry level, but also with other ingredients. So yeah, we just it just yeah, then of course all these tours, whatever food experience we're talking about, will always be accommodated to each and every dietary restriction.
Mhm.
So these are always taken into account.
So, how often are you able to have someone stay a couple nights in Bari versus just a day trip or kind of, maybe we land at 9 a.m., we do a food tour, and then we make our way into the valley? Like, what do you feel is the most seamless way to work these Bari experiences into an itinerary?
Yeah, so it's usually a day trip from central Puglia, and it's happening more and more because Bari has become relevant um, from a client standpoint. They hear talking about Bari, so they request it. And also actually for shopping, for like high, like brand Italian brand shop, Bari is really the only place offering like all these Italian boutiques, Louis Vuitton, Gucci. So that's
Okay.
also to be considered. So I would say it's always more and more arranged as a day trip. And also it can be, we suggest to spend a few nights, especially when 1 or 2 nights, especially if their flight leaves um, early morning
Sure.
or late at night, and then they can spend a night. Usually, it's usually a night there. Or if it's a longer trip, so 10 days, 15 days, then a couple of nights in Bari is usually there, or second timers to Puglia.
Okay, amazing. Do I dare ask, is there anything you haven't shared with us today? This has been a marathon of a conversation, but my goodness, have I learned a lot.
I will just say, please come to Puglia. And
I think that's all that's left,
Yeah.
right? Like if you made it through this entire conversation, now you have to book your flight direct from Newark. Amazing.
No, really, it's been a pleasure. Thank you actually for this length, like for dedicating us like the 2 episodes. And
Yes.
anything, like any question, any doubt, any suggestions, I'm always happy to help.
Elisa, it has been such a pleasure, and I'm truly very, very excited to come to Puglia for myself to be able to see and do all these wonderful things that you've shared. Thank you so much.
For you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Hive Mind podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. And if you know a friend or colleague who would enjoy this, please share it with them. If you would like insights from this episode landing in your inbox each week, join our newsletter at thehive.travel/podcast. And remember, if you'd like to contribute to a future episode, whether it's sharing your destination expertise or your experience touring hotels, just head to thehive.travel/podcast to learn more and express your interest. We'd love to have you join the conversation. Until next time.